Hello everyone. Now that we have completed the date functions, remember there's a lot more that Power BI has to offer. I have covered the most commonly used date functions for you, but at the end of this particular section, I will also share with you all the different categories of DAX functions that are available. Please make sure to have a look at those as well. For now, we want to come to a different topic. Let us talk about the what if scenario. Let's take an example. So I'm making a simple line chart or a column chart. And in this, we will keep our sales value and the subcategory. And there are 17 of these. Now, if I want to make a reference line, a line that comes on the y-axis, we know that we can go to Analyze, Constant Line, and I can create a line and I can put in a number. For example, let's say at 750,000, like this. But then this number is not easy to change for the end user. The end user is not going to have access to the analytics button. So it doesn't make sense. What we want to do is to make this number dynamic in a way that the user can decide what number they want to see. Let's have a look. So we first go to modeling and then we have new parameter. And I will select the first option, which is the numeric range. Here we can give it a name. So I want to call this choose ref line. It's a whole number between 0 and 1.5 million with an increment of 50,000. And we create it. So what it does is it creates a slicer on my page. And here you can choose any number between 0 and 1.5 million. But you notice a table has also been created. So here on the top right, we have a new table called choose ref line, where we see choose ref line and choose ref line value. So the first one is a simple DAX measure called generate series, where 0 to 1.5 million is the range, 50,000 is the increment. And choose ref line value is also a measure which is able to pick up that value that the user is selecting in the slicer. So think about it. The first one is used to create the slicer, and if next to it, I just make a card. And in the card, I keep my ref line value. You notice that any value that I choose in the slicer comes inside the card as well, like this. Let me also add a border and shadow. So everything looks neat and clean. Format painter on the column chart and on the card as well. Perfect. The only thing left for us to do is to get this value selected inside the reference line on the column chart. So we go to Analyze, Constant Line, we click on the FX button and we say that the choose ref line value has to be selected. And now you notice the line comes here. And as you move the line left and right, the value will also go up and down on the reference line like this. How cool is that? But let's make this one better. I would also like to have two different colors. So any one of these subcategories above the line should be one color and below the line should be a different color. For this, I will again go to new measure and we will say ref line color. And we use a simple if statement where we say that if my sum of sales, that means if the sales of the selected subcategory is greater than or equal to the choose ref line value. That means right now you notice that 17 lakhs, that's the total sales for phones, is clearly greater than my ref line value, which is 8 lakhs. Then the answer should be 2, otherwise the answer should be 1. Now why are we showing the answers as 2 and 1? Because we need numbers as the output. Because now when I go to the column chart, we can go to formatting, select columns, Click on the FX button, and here we say that we would like to apply a field value, or rather a rule only, where we say that the ref line color being equal to 2 will be one color, and if it is equal to 1, then it is a different color. Let's see. So I'm just keeping one color here and a different color here, and as you can see, it works beautifully. So as I move this left and right, it works perfectly. I have the link on the PowerPoint where I've explained how to do this also on Tableau and even on Excel, the same example. So that was our first what if, everyone, which is regarding a numeric parameter. Now let us also create another what if for a field. Let's have a look. So I again want to make a column chart, and in this we will keep our sales and our market. Now my objective is that the user should be able to choose between the sales and the profit, and the user should also be able to choose between the market and the segment. That means there should be two slicers on my page, and from the slicer, the user can decide if they want to see the sales, profit, or both of them, or the market and the segment, or both of them, like that. Let's see how this works. So we go to modeling and we go to new parameter. We select fields. Here we say choose the value, which would be either the profit or the sales value. But here's the thing, you can't choose the profit and sales directly from here. I mean, it allows you to do that, but that would not be correct. Because here we don't have the aggregation. We don't know if it is a sum or the average. So this will not work. If you want to keep the profit and the sales, first we will have to create two measures. That means I go to new measure and I first create a measure called the sum of sales, which is equal to the sum of my sales. And then one more time, we create another measure. We call it the sum of profit, which is equal to the sum of the profit. Now, once we have done this, I can again go back to modeling, new parameter and field parameter. And here we say that we would like to choose our y-axis value. And here I can select the sum of profit and the sum of sales. Now remember, these are measures, hence we are able to select them. The slicer will be added automatically. So we click on create. You can see that a slicer has been added. Let me keep this here on the right side. And now in the column chart, we will replace our y-axis sum of sales with this choose y-axis value that has been created. So I'll just drag it into the y-axis, and you notice that if I select the profit, it shows us the profit. If I select the sales, it shows us the sales. And if I select, let's say, both of them, we get both of them like this. In fact, it would be better to make this into a clustered column chart so that you see them next to each other like this. We want to do the same thing for the market and the segment as well. So we go to modeling and we again go back to fields. Here we say choose my x-axis value, and here I can keep the market and we can keep the segment. In fact, we can keep one more as well. Let's keep the category as well like this. One more time, you notice that a slicer has been created. And then in the column chart, we will remove the market. And then from this new table that has been created, we will choose the y-axis in the y and the x-axis in the x. And as you can see, I can toggle between the three. Now, if I select multiple, you notice that it automatically creates a expand button, which is great. That is exactly how I would expect it to work. So there we go, everyone. It's a fairly new feature. The numeric option has been around for a while, but the field option only got added about 3 quarters back. But it's a great addition. It really allows you to make your charts much more dynamic.